Hi, family, welcome to Holy Communion where we break bread. So, today we'll be looking at Genesis 5. I tried to combine Genesis 5 and 6 together, but time does not allow me because I try to keep my videos to 10 minutes. Genesis 5 in the beginning, it speaks of God having created us in his likeness and that he created us male and female. He created them and he called us mankind. So then it starts speaking of the lineage of Adam and how long they lived, the generation after Adam. So Adam had sons and daughters and had Seth, which only Seth is accounted for. If you look at Genesis 5, you'll see that only one child in that generation was accounted for, even though the parents, like Adam, had other sons and daughters. As Adam lived for 930 years, and then in that 930 years, sometime he had Seth, and then Seth lived 912 years and had Enosh. And then Enosh lived 905 years and had Kenan. And Kenan lived 910 years and had Mahalalel. Mahalalel lived 895 years and had Jared. And Jared lived 962 years and Enoch. Now, Enoch is a very interesting character because Enoch is the one who had Methuselah around 300 years, and then the remaining 65 years of his life he walked with God. He walked faithfully with God, and Enoch was no more. God took him. So this to me says that rapture is an assurance. Although it's still coming, it has happened before. God gave us a glimpse to the future by the life of Enoch and how it was recorded that those who walk faithfully with God, those who spend their time in the things of God, and those who believe in the Son of God, whom is Jesus Christ, because that's the requirement that requires one to be one with God and to be to serve God faithfully. You have to believe that he gave up his one and only true Son, Jesus Christ. You have to be born again. So, but before Jesus, Enoch was there, and Enoch walked faithfully with God. He walked so faithfully that God took him. For me, that symbolizes rapture. I believe Enoch was raptured because they say he was no more. I've come to see in the Bible as I'm reading it that some of the things that are happening now, they happened before with different kinds of churches in the times of Apostle Paul and them. And this was to show us the extent of how things would be. So with Enoch, I see that rapture is something that is going to happen. It is not an impossibility. It is not something that is used to scare people. It is going to happen because it has been recorded and it has happened before. Enoch was raptured. Nonetheless, Enoch had Methuselah. And Methuselah, if you check in the Bible, he's the only person who lived the longest. He lived for 969 years. Methuselah had Lamech. Lamech, you see the lineage just from Enoch to Methuselah to Lamech. Lamech lived 777 years and he had Noah. When Lamech had Noah, he gave the child the name Noah, meaning that this one will come and comfort us from the strife of having to work hard on this ground that the Lord has cursed. This is now Lamech speaking. And when you look at the number of how long Lamech lived 777 years. According to biblical knowledge, we know that 7 is the number of perfection, the number of completion. And by what Lamech says, it correlates with how the name that he gave Noah, because Noah would be the son whom the Lord ends the world with but keeps him to start a new thing. So God was starting a new kind of generation where we would be the seed of Abraham instead of the seed of Adam. You know, it's interesting how the Bible works. I want us to pay attention to the fact that it is possible for men to live for a long time. And we're going to see that when we go to chapter 6, it's going to explain as to why we are no longer living to the ages of 900, 700, 800. And this is because of our ways and our thoughts. But we will continue with that in chapter 6. I just wanted us to look at chapter 5 and see that there were people who were working with God in that time, and even though they lived in a time where the ground was cursed and women were bearing in pain, it happened so that there were still people serving God faithfully. God is faithful, and to them that, the Bible says, to them that are faithful, he shows himself faithful. So there is no way you can be faithful to God and he becomes disloyal to you, or he does not live up to his own word. Certain things are a choice. You could be living in the most dilapidated place, but then you could be living a life different from everyone else, because God is able to keep a man, especially a man who is faithful to him and a man who walks with him. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.